The other thing that everybody's talking about is Karrion Kross. Karrion Kross has been a polarizing figure. It's interesting because I don't know if you saw, but at the post show last night on night two, the entire crowd was chanting for Karrion Kross, and Triple H had to turn around and acknowledge it. There's a report that his contract is due this month. Conveniently, he's got a book that's coming out, I think this Friday, and I can't help but think, since allegedly he's been one of the top merch sellers and his merch has been flying off the shelves, the idea that he's leaving to me is a little silly. And I wonder, is this going to be another storyline for Unreal to just showcase how brilliant Triple H is? And maybe we will see him perform in TNA. Maybe we'll see him perform in AAA on the 16th at Triple Mania. Maybe we'll see him pop up at a WWE ID like GCW show. I think there's an opportunity for him to pop up in a few different places and continue to, build this legend and this legacy. And I don't know, Brian Pillman 2.0, whatever you want to call it, with this loose cannon thing, if that's the direction he's going. But it does feel like a large portion of the internet wrestling community is not a fan of his in-ring work. And maybe they like his promos and they see that he's got some fanfare and they see he's selling merch. And I made the correlation last night with Derek Sabato. Maybe he's the Michael Hayes of the Freebirds and he needs to find his buddy Roberts, because I don't think anybody can deny that he has a huge fan base. And you and I know have had the good fortune of meeting the real life Kevin. I mean, you felt so highly about him. You featured him in some of your Global Force shows. So we're both big fans of his, but there is a segment of the internet wrestling community that just, I guess they voted and they decide they don't like him, which I find is mysterious. And I would challenge those people to meet him in real life. But what would you do with him next? Like, what do you expect him to do next? What do you think is next for Karrion Kross?
Well, the evolution of any character development. Yes, day one in Kevin, almost. I think Kevin had been wrestling a year, maybe not that. Vegas, he actually picked me up one time on one of the tapings out there in Vegas. But I just thought he's a charismatic guy.
Yes.
And getting reps is not just his issue, but multiple folks' issue as they're breaking in, and reps after reps after reps. I do think you touched on something that his aura and his
yes,
he has the ability to communicate. So there is a lot of wrestlers that go back generations that, man, they could work their ass off, but just didn't quite have the promo skills. Well, it's no different than Kevin. Kevin might not be your best 5-star storyteller, high flyer, X division kind of deal, but he can tell stories. So, okay.
Neither was Hulk Hogan, by the way.
Well, don't, man, oh man, let's don't get into that. But yes. All right. Then let's put him in a trios kind of circumstances. And I think you could really create some magic there, because their presentation is in there. Scarlett, you just said it. It gets attraction. Now, did you say he has a book coming out this Friday from WWE?
I don't know if it's from WWE Publishers. I don't believe it is.
Wink, wink. Got it.
No, I'm being sincere, but it's on Amazon if you want to check it out. Life is Fighting. It comes out today. As you're listening to this today, August 5th, you can pick it up on Amazon. Kevin Robert Kaiser, WWE superstar Karrion Kross. Life is Fighting is the name of the book, and you can pick it up right now on Amazon as you're listening to this.
Interesting.
Like, I mean, such a heck of a nice guy, and the crowd's with it. Like, you remember when we were talking about Ric Flair's last match, I was like, dude, I'm getting this guy.
Yep.
We had him on our show on a Sunday, and man, he was back on SmackDown on Friday. That's where he belongs. He's selling merch. Like, I think the Boo Birds who are, I don't know, work rate mobsters. It's a little silly. Like, dude, people care about that guy. And that's the hard part. Like, that's the hard part, making people care.
Well, and it's the only part that matters.
Yes.
I hate to say that. Yes, it is. But, Conrad, kind of the people that we'll call it the work rate, you call them the work rate mobsters. Is it the same group that some people you're just never going to be happy? You're never.
That's fair.
That's it. And but as long as they're chatting and talking and looking at, I just think that the end all be all barometer at the end of the day, black ink, red ink. We've said it a million times through this show, and sometimes people might get misguided and think, "Oh man, online discourse is the number one," or whatever it may be. That's why I always kind of go back to, you don't get immediate numbers sometimes, ratings or financial, and you can have this night on TV or this set of circumstances or this venue or so many different things. If you have a good ear, go out and listen to the crowd's reaction. They really are, if you have a trained ear, the best barometer.
And the crowd is with him, man. I'm pulling for him. What do you think of my idea? It's the old Paul Heyman, accentuate the positives, hide the negatives. If you put him with a guy who's incredible bell to bell, maybe he's a high flyer, he can do all kinds of crazy stuff. I don't know. But maybe he's not the best talker.
Look at sorry to jump on you, but Michael had a big Terry Gordy and a Buddy Jack. And I'm not saying there's teams in history when you kind of look at it. So what's Kevin need? He probably needs a big heavy, and he probably needs a guy that can, yes, flat out go. Yep. Yeah.
Well, we'll see what happens. I'm looking forward to it. I'm pulling for him. I think they are terrific people, and I can't wait to see what's next. And I can't wait to see what you think about Unreal. Have you had a chance to see the whole series? I know you're not usually a TV watcher, but it's wrestling content, and you're a self-confessed wrestling junkie. Have you had a chance to binge episodes 1 through 5 of WWE Unreal?
I have not. And Karen's like, "You ain't gonna watch it." I said, "Honey, you've observed me. I've done baseball, I've done gaming, I've done wrestling, I've done home stuff. So I'm gonna watch it on plane rides." I have not. Obviously, I've seen a few clips here and there. I saw the Meltzer comment. I saw others comment. There was discussion last week at TV. What is the fine line? And I think that was what I said from the beginning, is
all in the edit, is what you said.
All in the edit. So your first blush, what's your thoughts on the edit?
It's a reality TV show.
Yeah. And there you go.
I saw people getting all over Bruce Pritchard. Let me set up the scene for you. They're doing the debut of Monday Night Raw on Netflix. And as you know, Rock went off script and went too long. And so when something goes long in a show, in the middle of the show or the open of a show, when something goes long, what happens to everything that follows it, Jeff?
Juggle, got to subtract. How are we going to do it? And it's pressure cooker time.
And the main event, as you'll recall, was Seth Rollins and CM Punk, a story they'd been building for months and months and months and months. And allegedly they needed to cut some stuff. And Bruce had Netflix in his ear, I'm sure, and they needed to hit their times. And there's a narrative out there, that we can go as long as we want. And I get that why people think that, but the reality is, if there's an agreement and there's an understanding and this is the plan and this is what we're doing, I think Dutch Mantel would say, this is the play we're running, go run the play. So when the show starts to run long, Bruce is kind of communicating and trying to keep that on task with our pal, Abyss, Mr. Chris Park. And as you know, by nature, Chris Park, I don't think I'm betraying any confidences, is a real life people pleaser. He wants to make everybody happy. And I think he was being a little over the top about it on that particular day. And when they see Bruce sort of brooding over, hey, we're going long, people are all over Bruce about him trying to make sure the guys were hitting their time. And of course, he's communicating that to the match producer. And then afterwards, when Chris is like, how was it? Is that okay? And we cut a lot of stuff out. It was only, we cut like 2 minutes out or whatever it was. Bruce said something along the lines of, it was over time. It was overproduced. It was over everything, but it doesn't matter. It's over now. It was a great show. And I think Chris still needed some more reassuring. And it was Regal who stepped up and said, hey, it was great. You did a good job. Don't worry about it. Be happy with yourself. And Chris was like, I am, but I'm trying to make this man happy. And the internet decided, Chris is looking for the hug, and Bruce is a heel and he's a piece of shit. And it's like, wait a minute. I was never in the gorilla position. I mean, not during a show. I've walked through there before the show, but I've never been there during a show. But I can only imagine how Vince ran gorilla. And Bruce saying, hey, we're over. We got to cut something. What are we doing? We're running long. I can only imagine what that was like with Vince with the volume turned all the way up. And I just know I've never worked with Chris, but I've heard that he was always just a people pleaser. Like, hey, how was that? Is that okay? He wants to do a good job. That's really important to him. That's a great trait. But he's probably at times maybe a little much with it. And so just knowing Bruce, I'm sure Bruce was like, it's over now. It doesn't matter. If you've listened to Bruce's podcast long enough, you know that he would brag about he likes to do things on live TV because when it's live, it's done. We don't have to go redo it. If it was on live TV and it happened, it was meant to be, we'll move on. That's the way Bruce is. So when the show's over, Bruce is like, okay, it's in the rearview mirror. Who cares? Let's move on. But the internet decided, well, Bruce is an asshole. I'd be willing to bet if you played the entire tape, respectfully, I bet Chris Park was like that the entire day. Hey, what about this? Are you happy with that? Are you happy with this? Because he wants to be a people pleaser. But it was edited in a way where it made Bruce look like an asshole. And so I'm like, the pressure of live TV and holding people accountable to do their job makes you an asshole. I don't know. And it's not like he motherfucked him or read the riot act. And we've heard of Vince doing that.
Would have. It's been better TV. Okay, so Bruce is a heel. Who gives a shit? At the end of the day, and Chris Park, I love him. I've experienced all sides of it. That man right there is the most coachable athlete that I have ever been around because he will do it till he doesn't think he has it right, knows he got it right. So I can't compliment enough. And it's pretty cool. That dude's doing the main event, producing the main event.
Yes.
Tells you of the Netflix. But at the end of the day, and Bruce knows this as well as anybody, hey, Chris Park ain't in the ring wrestling. Hitting their marks is strictly and only Seth and Punk's responsibility.
Correct.
Game, set, match. That's why, okay, you've already given.
And you know what Punk and Seth are thinking. Again, I don't really know those guys for real, but in my head, it's like, hey, we're going to lose. We've been building this story for 6 months. And old Helicopter Rock comes out here glad-handing for 2 minutes too long. And now we got to cut out part of our finish. I'm going to do the match I want to do, and we'll go long.
That's
that's what really happened. So the heel in the circle. But you have to appreciate the people who are watching it don't know all of this, Jeff. So they take everything at face value. You're right. In reality TV, you have to have heels and villains and baby. Yes. So that's Bruce in this particular scene. But in reality, what did Bruce do? Just remind, hey guys, we're going long. We got to hit our time. They even had Ed Koskey say, hey, the worst thing you can do is go long. The second worst thing you can do is go short. So plan A is make your time, and plan B is make your time. SaveWithConrad.com.
My name is Sergio. I'm from Lancaster in California. The motivation behind just following through with this refinance was I have a baby on the way. So just wanted to get everything in order. In the past couple of years, just afraid to pull the trigger, but then it just seemed like the right time to do it. I went to multiple banks, not only the mortgage I had, but then I went to you, and then I also went to several others. And it just seemed like your team, they were just completely honest and outright. Also, all the information was just laid out for me right there and then, answering all my questions in a timely, efficient manner. Diane was just so helpful and above and beyond accessible with both texting and emails and just any information that they needed. She would explain to me what exactly they wanted me to send, and then if there were any issues, she was able to just resolve them pretty quickly versus other companies that sometimes it would take a couple of days to get some information. We were looking to pay down some debt, also looking into making some improvements to the home, also build up our backyard, do everything, especially for our daughter coming. By doing this cash out, it's a good amount that we're saving, between $1,000 and $1,500 a month, I would say. It helped out tremendously as well. My name's Sergio. I'm from Lancaster, California, and I saved over $1,500 a month with SaveWithConrad.com.
NMLS number 2129, Equal Housing Lender. SaveWithConrad.com.